It's not every day that we have the opportunity to pass a bill that will save the lives of Minnesotans, but today is one of those days. This is a bill about worker safety. It adds necessary protections for those doing the work of lake weed removal using scuba gear. I started working on this bill last December when I got an email from a grieving parent. Shortly after that, I met with 2 sets of grieving parents and heard the stories of Brady Aune and Joseph Anderson. As his mother shared with us in committee, Brady Aune was alive and well at breakfast on June 3rd, 2022, and dead by lunch. He was just 20 years old, and he had been on the job with dive guys for 3 days when he drowned in Lake Minnetonka. He expected it to be a fun summer job, a way to be outdoors and earn some money, but he was not provided any formal training on how to use the scuba gear when he was sent into the water on day 1. The investigation after his death found that no one on site that day was CPR certified. Brady's dive buddy was not with him, as he should have been. And Brady's weight belt was on both backwards, so he couldn't release it, and it was the wrong weight for him. Brady wanted to be a firefighter like his dad, and he was on track to earn his ranking in his cadet class later that summer. Brady's death was preventable. Tragically, less than 2 years later, another family experienced a similar devastating loss. Joseph Anderson was just 18 when he began working for Your Lake Aquatic Plant Management. He was a senior in high school with a bright future and plans ahead for college. On May 21st of just last year, on his 3rd day on the job and his 1st day using scuba equipment, Joseph got just 15 minutes of verbal training on the dock of Lac Lavon, where a few hours later he would drown. Joseph was told he'd been working in 6 to 8 feet of water, but he was found in 20 feet of water with his respirator off. He was pulled from the water with no pulse and not breathing. Again, no one on site knew CPR. It's only waited for the ambulance to arrive. When it did, the ambulance crew was able to regain his pulse, but not his breathing. And he was taken to the hospital where he fought bravely for 3 days until he passed. Joseph's death was preventable. So the bill we have before us today closes the gaps that led to Brady and Joseph's deaths. It requires that anyone using scuba gear to perform aquatic plant management to use specific equipment, including a buoyancy control device or BCD, an illuminated dive beacon, and a quick release weight system. It requires that those using scuba gear to do this work hold at least an open water scuba diving certification from a nationally recognized training provider. It requires the use of a standby diver and CPR training. It also adds worker safety requirements to the DNR permitting process for aquatic plant management. Applicants will be required to undergo an annual safety consultation to use scuba gear, and they will require an information sheet from DLI to applicable federal and state worker safety standards so they know what those requirements are. In addition, the DNR will be required to deny a permit to a company that has received a citation for a willful OSHA violation in the past 2 years, and to revoke a permit if an employer is found to have used scuba gear without undergoing this safety consultation requirement. I will add that I've been in conversation with some of the businesses who do this work, and they agree that these changes are reasonable. I also want to thank the members who have contributed to the work of this bill: Senator Seeberger, Senator Westland, Senator Duckworth, and Senator Liskey, and also to Chair McEwen, Chair Herr, Chair Marty, and their committees for the smooth hearings. I've worked closely with the Republican author of this bill in the other body, where it passed off the floor unanimously last week, and I'm hopeful we can do the same today. I'd also like to acknowledge the work of our partners at DLI and the DNR, Senate Counsel, caucus researcher Danny Gillis, and my staff, Jack Dudley. Lastly, I want to recognize the bravery, persistence, and strength of the Aune and Anderson families, who have been present and pushing through every step of this process, all the while they are still navigating their own grief. They don't want any other families to experience and know the pain that they are experiencing in the preventable deaths of their boys. So members, I would ask for your support and a green vote. Thank you, Mr. President.